Fernando Martins de Bulhoes was born in Lisbon, Portugal in 1195. His wealthy family arranged for him to be instructed at the local cathedral school until he entered the Augustinian community at the Abbey of St. Vincent. At the age of 17, he moved to the Monastery of the Holy Cross in Coimbra, and finally joined the Franciscan order in Olivais, adopting the name Anthony after the Egyptian ascetic Antonius the Great, who vanquished demons in the desert along the Nile. Anthony suffered from poor health throughout his life. In 1219 he visited Morocco, but fell seriously ill and set sail back for Portugal. However, the ship was pushed off course and landed in Italy, where he met Francis of Assisi. Anthony taught at the oldest universities in southern France for some time, and in 1226 he was appointed provincial superior of northern Italy and settled in Padua. Italian occultists regarded him as a sorcerer who held the keys to the spirit world. Several miracles were ascribed to him, such as talking to animals, raising the dead, and healing the sick. He was often portrayed as carrying a small child, usually taken to be the infant Jesus, or holding a flower resembling a lily stalk. Esotericists speculate these symbols actually represent a homunculus and a mandrake flower, respectively. Because mandrakes contain hallucinogenic alkaloids and the shape of their roots often resembles human figures, they have been associated with magic rituals and the creation of homunculi. A homunculus was a miniature, fully formed human being which symbolized the alchemist's inner child, often thought to have an independent personality. Homunculi can be found in centuries' worth of literature, centered around the quest for artificial life and speculations on soul transfer, linked to the Chinese belief in spiritual embryos called shantai. Parallels have been drawn between the figure of Antony and the Greco-Roman god Asclepius, representing the healing aspect of chemistry and alchemy. Telesphorus was a homunculus created by Asclepius to act as a healing entity, and was described as a gnome, typically wearing a cowl or hood. In 1231, Antony was affected by ergotism, also known as St. Anthony's Fire, and opted for a woodland retreat in the so-called Walnut Sanctuary, a few miles north of Padua. Shortly thereafter, as his condition worsened and he sensed that death was approaching, he asked to be taken to the hospice at the Arcella Sanctuary, where he passed away. Since then, the sanctuary has been greatly enlarged to become a stern neo-Gothic church topped by a single dome and flanked by a slender tower. Antony was buried in a small church in the center of Padua, which soon grew into the majestic Basilica of St. Anthony. The interior is decorated with frescoes and statues, and boasts a collection of sacred relics, including Antony's jawbone and tongue, a crystal ball, and a few magic stones. Next to the church is a garden, a library, and 4 cloisters, which house a number of sarcophagi, including the tomb of the famous violinist Giuseppe Tartini, who composed the Devil's Trill Sonata. From the 16th to the 18th centuries, Antony's fame spread to Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Spanish missionaries built a village in Texas that grew into the city of San Antonio. The Italian communities of Boston and New York still celebrate an annual feast in honor of the saint. An Antonian cult was founded in Congo in 1704 by Beatrice Kimpavida, who claimed to be possessed by Saint Anthony. Revivalists of the ancient Egyptian religion have compared Anthony to Amhotep, the Kemetic deity of medicine. In North America, African diasporic religions, such as Voodoo and Santeria, arose through a process of syncretism between animism and Christianity, as diverse ethnic groups from West and Central Africa all worked on the same plantations. Most notably, the Yoruba deity Eshu Elegbara became syncretized with Saint Anthony. In Cuba, he is called Elegua. In Brazil, they call him Eshu. In Haiti, he is known as Papa Legba. He is invoked at the beginning of every ceremony and serves as the intermediary between spirits and humans. He usually appears as a jester, dressed in black and red, wearing a hat and wielding a scepter. Occasionally, he can either take on the appearance of a child or dwarf carrying a bunch of keys, or even shapeshift into an oval stone or a cowrie shell. Similarly to Anthony, he can commune with animals and elementals to restore balance and health to humankind.